Hello everybody, Muttley here, coming at you again with some very up-to-date content. This highlights video from the GT300 series finale at Bathurst is just under 2 weeks old, so I'm improving everybody. Anyway, second row of the grid, round the outside of turn 1, get a fantastic run up towards turn 2, and I'm going to go 3 wide with the 2 side on the front row. We don't quite have the power to get my nose in front and lead the race even for like a millimetre. And just look at the acceleration in that BMW. He has got us covered. And round the outside of the RX-8 into turn 2, I gave him plenty of room, but he didn't quite get the inside line working for him there. A tiny bit of contact, obviously didn't cost me anything, and we settled down for an entire lap. And then we're coming back to turn 2 once again, because this time it ain't going to go so smoothly. I get the nice run round it on my own, power down too early, run wide on the exit, smack the wall, sent sideways, and he can get his place back. He might be very happy about that, but this is my video and I'm not, so let's go get him back. Right, good run round the outside. Don't know what that contact is about. Go on, Shep, you get him. Okay, no, I'm not going to let Shep. I can't be beaten by a teammate. Don't be talking silly. Yes, that's English. Oh, we're off to a good start, everybody. Oh, you're going to enjoy this one. Can you tell I still can't be bothered with a script? When I'm up to date, I might bother with a script. Little bit of filler chatter there, because I knew he was going to make that mistake. See, I know what I'm talking about. So now I can talk about how he ran wide and I swooped up the inside, headed to the downhill, and I'm back into P2 as we start the second half of the lap. I think the first half is the uphill, the second half is the downhill, and that was the second half of that lap. So that's how it's going to go. Why do any of you lot watch this? Right, on to lap 5 then, and nothing's happened for me, but we're looking back to see what's happening to Shep, and he's being overtaken. Is the short straw? Short straw? I'm getting my sayings mixed up, aren't I? It's the short story. Yeah, the S2000, very quick and straight line, just drove past him. Again, not a lot happened to me in this race, so we're on to lap 6 now, and there's only a couple of corners left, plus this very long straight, although we are going to have a quick look back, and oh, there he is. That's the S2000 that just dragged past Shep. Just a minute ago for you, or not even that, but obviously a lap and a half ago in the real terms of this race. He moves to the right hand side, I give it to him so I can hold on to the left. I lock up, which forces me to run deep, and I pretty much ran him off the road there, didn't I? But, it wasn't intentional. You saw me lock up, and to be fair, even if I didn't, it's the last lap, and things get desperate when there's only 3 corners to go, especially when you're defending from a car that is faster than you, especially when they're faster than you on the straights, where it's very easy to overtake. When you're quicker through the corners, it's obviously a lot more difficult to get the job done, and there he is, right up my bumper, pushing me across the line, as I do finish the first race in 2nd place. Shep would hold on to 4th after being overtaken by that S2000, and Delete was 6th, so a nice 2-4-6 for the VPR guys in that one. Obviously, if you don't remember, there's a reverse top half grid in this series, so we'd be 1st, 3rd and 5th on the grid, obviously myself in 5th, and a good start for me, or a bad start for the previous race winner, and I managed to pull in front of him. I really wanted to be on the outside, to be honest. We saw how good my run was from the outside in the previous race, but I haven't done too badly from the inside. I managed to get the jump on the guy I started alongside and sort of turn it into a decent racing line, and then I did manage to box in that S2000 with Shep to stop his OP straight line speed from dominating everybody in the run towards turn 2, but the gap eventually did open up, and to be honest, I was never going to get past him. I was just trying to really help out Shep, and it worked, as you can see. Shep's still up there in 3rd, and he's still in between me and him in 4th. Crikey, there was a lot of pronouns in that sentence. But we're going to stay on board for a bit now, because more's going to happen later in the lap, and I couldn't be bothered to cut it out. But right now, there's not a huge amount going on, so more filler and waffle from me. Yay! I haven't mentioned VPR Delete in this race yet. He led from pole off of the grid, and you can just about see in the distance that he's still leading, so good for him. Bad for me though, because I messed up. That's a word. I don't quite know how I only lost 1 position. They must have been squabbling behind when I wasn't looking. Obviously, taking the line where you bounce off the wall and end up in the grass is far from ideal through that particular corner, and I would probably guesstimate that it's not a particularly good line through any corner, sort of anywhere. Anyway, we're now side by side with the BMW again. He didn't have the best run through the hairpin. I did notice, didn't seem to matter who I was racing near or with or just driving around next to. I seem to take a very different line through the hairpin than anybody else. Weird. We saw how quick that BMW could be in a straight line, but judging on that particular clip we've just watched, it seems as though he gets all his speed from the acceleration phase. Top end, this Silvia's apparently not too bad. I am still very bad because I just drove into the grass on the exit of the corner. I was trying to just sort of widen it out and smooth the steering out on the exit and open it up as quickly as possible to keep it in a straight line to try and make some speed, and it didn't work. I ran onto the grass, and we've carried on being side by side for the next 2 corners, and now we're not going to be side by side anymore because going uphill, big acceleration zone, and that's how much better the BMW is. Obviously we saw how good my top end was, but we're not in the right position for that. Jumping forward another lap and going through turn 2. This time it's not because I made a mistake, it's because he made a mistake. Obviously going sideways through there, again, not the ideal line, and again, not the ideal line no matter where you are. Going sideways is not the quickest way of doing it. I was about to go on a tangent there and I'm really trying to stop myself. So we're still following the blue BMW, clipping the wall there, knocking off my other wing mirror. Obviously it wouldn't be a race at bottle first if you didn't finish with both your wing mirrors. And now I'm in the proper way of doing it and finishing with none. Oh, that was a lovely cutback. That is not a place you often see overtakes made. And I managed to avoid the wall on the next corner. How good am I? Right, end of lap 4 then. Braking into the chicane. I can hear the BMW behind me. I can't quite see him. I can tell on the feet meter that he's very close, and his acceleration is going to help him start to pull alongside. So I decided that, you know, best thing to do is back out of it and go into the pits, where I make quite possibly the biggest mistake I have ever made in a league race, and certainly the biggest mistake I've ever put on video. That was a good one, wasn't it, chaps? I mean, I'm normally the first advocate of making sure you practice a pit entry if there's a pit stop in your race. Clearly I didn't do it enough. The worst thing about that is if you go back and watch it, I actually would have got it right. I braked at about the right spot, but then I throttled again, and then I stalled it, trying to pull away, and even watching it back, I've literally got my head in my hands. It's just, I hope you're finding it entertaining, because that's what videos are all about, right? Is that convincing? Please say it's convincing. Yeah, 1 lap later though, someone else has got into the pits, and I've jumped them, so that's already one position better than I thought I'd finish at this point in the race. I really thought, you know, I ballsed up so dramatically, I lost so much time, especially considering the fact I stalled it while trying to pull away as well. I was fully convinced that was it, I was just going to be last. But there we go, there's another clip, and another position, and I'm already back up into 11th, so... sometimes when you drive angry, you drive quick. Sometimes you crash. I've sort of already... The first lap when I came out the pits, I was so angry with myself, as you can probably imagine. By the time that this live clip has come around, that I'm fighting this fellow Silvia, we don't see many other Silvias. So it's nice to see one, you know, just a little side tangent. But by the time this battle came about, I sort of like was just more in a state of confusion than self-annoyance, because I just couldn't quite believe that I was already up to 11th and potentially 10th if I could get past this Silvia. So I was, yeah, it's just baffling. I'd love to see everybody else's highlights to see what the hell else went on, because well, spoiler alert, we're not going to finish 11th. Yeah, so we've been following this blue Silvia for nearly a full lap now, and just can't quite find a way past. Touched his rear bumper a couple of times. Nothing too dramatic, but you can see on the split time there, 1.3 seconds down. Obviously, if you're battling someone, you're always going to lose speed. But when you're battling someone and you still can't get past them, you know, you're going to lose even more. So, stating the obvious word of the day. I really, really need to start writing scripts. It doesn't help when there is a really, really long straight with nothing going on, and then you sort of, okay, yeah, I'm sat in the slipstream, I'm edging closer, I'm still getting closer, still getting a little bit closer, still getting closer, we're still going in a straight line. Obviously that's not happening while I was saying it, it was actually going around a couple of corners, so not the best time to mention that really, I suppose. But someone else has gone into the pits, so that's 10th. No idea how that happened. And I'll tell you what, you can see the bright green dot in the distance. That's that RX-8 that we was fighting with at the start of the first race. And he started ahead of me in this one because of how the reverse grid works, so yeah, absolutely baffling. And we finally got a decent overlap into a decent overtaking opportunity on the Sylvia, up the inside into turn 2, go a little bit deep. Can we make it stick? With sort of P9, he's coming back though. He's got the undercut. You don't really want to be on the right hand side there, which is why it's a good overtaking opportunity. If you run a bit deep, it doesn't matter if they get the cut back, because like you see there, that he was never going to make that outside line work. A little bit of contact dragged us both wide into the tight left-hander, but realistically, as soon as I got up the inside into turn 2, I was always going to get that position. Somebody else made the same mistake as me, at least I'm not alone. And I didn't do that off the curb either. So that's P8. P8. I still can't quite believe it. Because I was what, 4th, 5th when I went into the pits? When I crashed going into the pits? Crashed very badly going into the pits? Ring a bell, anybody? I just don't know how I've only lost 3 places at this point. And the race, you've still got 4 laps to go. I mean, going on to lap 10, there's someone else. That's P7. Like, did no one else practice their pit entries as well? Have they all done similar things to me? Because it's like, I mean, that's delete. He started on pole. Like, how is he only just up there? And what the hell happened to the RX-8? I couldn't quite see. I presume he's got damage. Because, yeah. I'm confused! Lap 11 now. And we're still sort of about that far back from delete. Doesn't have the best run through that hander that I crashed at. And going down the hill, he's going to overshoot his brakes. And instead of darting immediately back onto the racing line, he knew I was behind him. So he let me go instead of causing an accident. Why do I do that? I've just put on a stupid accent for one word of a sentence. It's just stupid. Right, can we please finish this video so I can stop rambling? Here we go. Right, yeah. End of lap 13. And 5th. Did we see me move up to 5th? How am I 5th? I started 5th. I know it's a partially reversed grid, so in theory I should have been able to move up positions. But after all that's happened in this race, how the hell am I going to come across the line to finish where I started? Also, I'm taking it really easy, letting delete catch up to my bumper and sort of finish in formation. I don't know why, it's just because it's the end of the season I did that. Why not? It's not exactly like it was for 1st and 2nd. And the Forza thing's bugged again. It says we were 6th and 7th when we clearly weren't. You saw us cross the line in 5th and 6th, and that's what happened. But Forza's like, no, I'm going to do it differently because I'm special. And that seemed to be happening quite a lot to me lately on Forza. I think was it the same in one of my last videos somewhere? Or might be the next one, I don't know. Anyway, as it's the end of the series, all the points are all finalised. There they are. The Sylvia wasn't a brilliantly competitive car. I mean, just look at the top 9. And as we were only ever in B lobby, apart from Shep's one appearance in A. And even in that round he lagged out, so there we are, 3rd in the teams. It's a pretty decent achievement, I suppose, but if you look at the points gaps, it was never in doubt, and we wouldn't have ever challenged it. It was kind of just status quo all series. Anyway, if you have somehow enjoyed this video, leave a like. I don't normally ask, so you should do it this time. That's how it works. Anyway, I'm going to try and stop myself rambling, and I will see you soon for the next video, whatever it may be. So until then, goodbye.